Tonight, I am not only talking to Sam Sharp Square. Tonight, I am talking to all Jamaicans, overseas and here. I'm talking to all Jamaicans in Western Jamaica, in Central Jamaica, in Eastern Jamaica, and Southern Jamaica. I'm talking to all Jamaica. 9 years ago, this country faced high debt, high unemployment, high crime, high taxes, poor public services. The country was at the brink of collapse. Since taking office, your government has created over 280,000 new jobs, never before in the history of Jamaica. We have cut poverty in half, never before in the history of Jamaica. Jamaica is the only country in this region that has a freely floating exchange rate. Gone are the days when people used to worry about the depreciation of the Jamaican dollar. Those days are gone. We have a very stable and strong currency. Crime is at its lowest in 30 years. We have cut murders in the last 3 years by 55%. This is the lowest it has been in over 30 years. For the first time in over 30 years, murders will go below 1,000. In fact, we are trending now more to 700. And that would be the lowest it has been since the 1980s. These are incontrovertible facts. Incontrovertible. Now, we are at a crossroads as a country. The argument about a good performing government is one. The Jamaica Labour Party has won that hands down. And when you have won the debate about performance, all that your opponent can do is resort to slander and lies. Now, the conversation must move on to what will the Jamaica Labour Party government do in its next term. Number one, the Jamaica Labour Party will continue its good performance, because it is that good performance that gives confidence and credibility to you, the people, and to the investors who want to come and put their money in this country. They can be assured, and you, the people, can be assured of good government and good governance, because that is the basis of growth and development, and we will continue good government, good governance. But many of you here gathered want to hear not some pie in the sky promises that don't make sense. Some of you just want to hear will we get our water in our homes, in our pipes, that when we step into our bathroom and we turn on the pipe, we can say, shower, shower, shower. And under the Jamaica Labour Party, you can be guaranteed that we pay attention to the basic needs of the people, to the basic public services that you want. Since our administration, we have delivered water to 350,000 households that have not had water, some for their entire life. Some communities from they were established hundreds of years ago never had water. The Jamaica Labour Party delivered water to them. In our next term, we will deliver water to 900,000 Jamaicans who either don't have water, have unreliable water, or have water that is inconsistent in supply. That is not a promise. That is work in progress. Already, we have launched the Northwestern Water Resilience Project that will harness and utilize the water coming from Montego Bay and Great River, that will replace the pipeline that goes from Trelawney all the way up the northern spine. And we will improve that with greater pumping, storage, and lift capacity, so that this entire area of the northwestern parishes can have reliable and consistent and good quality potable water from Trelawney to Negril. That's not promise that is going to be delivered, because the work has started. In the central part of the country, we have already started work on the Content Water Supply Project, where we will take 15 million gallons of water from the Rio Cobre River to supply parts of St. Catherine and Kingston and St. Andrew to end the water lockups when there is drought in the country, in that region. That is not a promise. That is already work in progress. And we have already started work on a major water supply project for Clarendon and Manchester. Massive project. It's the pumped hydro storage project, where we are going to be using the cutting edge technology. We're going to take water from the sea. We're going to use solar energy to pump the water up to the hills of Clarendon. We're going to store it in a reservoir, and then we are going to gravity feed it down and create electricity at the same time. And that will provide water to the plains of Clarendon, to South Manchester. Already underway is the Pedro Plains project that will provide water in St. Elizabeth and Manchester. And already underway is the Greater Mandible Water Supply project that is bringing water from St. Elizabeth, taking it up the hills into Manchester through Spurtree, providing the Greater Mandible with water. 900,000 Jamaicans will have reliable and consistent and good quality water, because this government is not making any promise or talking. This government has run the economy well. Many of you here have come like people watching, whether you're watching me live on social media, big up TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, big up, big up, big up. And of course, for those of you watching us live on television, big up. Many of you have come to hear about housing. Let me tell you something about me. I was born in Spanish Town, as you know, at the Spanish Town Hospital. I left there and went to live, basically I was grown up by my great-grandmother. It was a 2-bedroom board house. My grand-aunt occupied one side and me, my grandmother, my sister in one side. Then when my mother, who was a civil servant, she decided that she wanted us to come and live with them, we get rent house, a little 1-bedroom, and we live with her in Central Avenue in Hampton Green. Until she was able to work and she buy an NHD house in a place called Riverside Park in Spanish Town, and that's where I grew up for the rest of my life. Nobody can tell me about the struggles of trying to find a house, whether to rent or live. I understand it because I live it. And that is why when I became Prime Minister, after the PNP tried to tear me down because I was ambitious enough to build a house, that many of you share the same ambition to build a house. The PNP don't understand. They don't understand it. They believe they could tear me down. But by tearing me down, they are tearing down the dreams and ambitions of all the young people who are graduating from school, working hard, who also want to build their own homes. So I say thank you PNP, thank you for your slander and lies. You have made me stronger. Because you know what them say, when I kill you, make you stronger. I am a stronger man today that I can stand above them and not sink to the gutter in which they are in. You make me stronger. So the message to them and their paid minions who try to float lies against me, God nah sleep. So when I got the opportunity to be Prime Minister, the first thing I did, having grown up in an NHT scheme, I gave a directive to the NHT that all NHT housing schemes built between 1976 and 1986 must be upgraded. Their roads must be fixed, their sewer must be dealt with, their exterior must be repainted, and if there are shared walls and there are leaks, those must be corrected. 76 of the 100 housing schemes have already been done, and the other 76 are underway. We haven't said too much about it, but for every Jamaican who live in one of those housing schemes, they know that this is the case, that we have gone about repairing and upgrading their house. That was the first thing I did, and I did it because I know what it is to live in an NHD house. Now, the problem with housing in Jamaica, and I'm talking now to young people, because we are a society that looks and is led. We look at how things sound and how it feels. We look at emotions. Emotion is good. Emotion shows passion. But we are at a critical junction now, where if we get swept up by emotion, we can be misled. So I see some young people saying, boy, I like this idea of the $500,000. I explain that. You notice that not come up again. Because it would be an inequity. So what happened to the man who's been working all his life? He not deserve the $500,000 too? It don't make sense. right? Because you're giving a benefit only to one group, the other groups don't get it. Then now they come with something called rent to own. On paper, it is a good idea. In fact, I already announced a rent-to-own program under the new social housing program. And that is being developed as we speak. But that rent-to-own program solves a different problem from what the PNP is trying to solve. Now, what the PNP is trying to tell you is that any house out there, you can go and rent it and then try and own it after. Let me explain to you. The first thing is, where is the house? The problem is not rent to own. The problem is not finding deposit. The problem is not qualifying for mortgage. The problem is a shortage of housing for people to live in. We are not producing enough houses in Jamaica faster than people are demanding the houses. And this has been the case for the last 40 years in Jamaica. We have a deficit of 150,000 houses in Jamaica. That is the real problem that no fake solution can solve. And the only way to solve that is to build more house in Jamaica. The Jamaica Labour Party started that project. We are on our way with 70,000 houses. The NHT has 53,000 houses in planning, construction, procurement right now. And those houses will come in the next 5 years. We have committed to building another 60,000 houses. You know what the impact of that is going to be? The more houses come on the market, the price of the house go down. And when the price of the house go down, the cost of the mortgage also goes down. What we need is to unleash the construction energy in Jamaica to get not just public but private sector people to build more houses. We have committed to build another 60,000 houses. And let me tell you how that is going to be done. They see the road program that we're doing. And them cuts we say we are highway government. You see that highway we're building from Kingston going all the way around to Port Antonio. Them look at it and them want to criticize it, but they can't criticize it. But that highway has opened up new lands for development. Right now, we have over 8,000 applications for housing in the St. Thomas corridor running along the new highway. The Williamsfield Highway that we have just done, we have opened up new lands there for housing as well, and you're going to see a whole heap of housing come along that stretch in Clarendon. Not to mention what we have done here with the perimeter road that is going to open up more opportunities in lands for housing. And we're not stopping there. As soon as the perimeter road is finished, we are going to start a new road on a new alignment that will go around Hopewell, Lucy, Sandy Bay, carry you right up to Negril, a brand new roadway. Listen to me. The present roadway, no matter how you fix it, it is always going to give you trouble because it is too close to the sea. Climate change is a real thing that impacts our infrastructure. And so we are going to move the road inland. But as we move the road inland, we are also opening up and making accessible new lands along those roads. So you're going to have a new set of housing emerging in Hanover and Westmoreland, where the housing demands there are very high. In St. Catherine, in Minister Tufton's constituency, we have asked the NHT to coordinate a new master plan for the greater Innswood area. That alone will bring 15,000 new houses onto the market. So the PNP come with a whole heap of talk, but the Jamaica Labour Party comes with the substance of what needs to be done to move Jamaica from poverty to prosperity. Stick with the better plan. Stick with the people who understand the issues. Stick with the people who have a better understanding and greater competence of delivery. And we will launch a 1 in 5 and a 2 in 10 program so that teachers and nurses and members of the security forces working in the public sector can receive a 1% mortgage interest reduction after 5 years and 2% interest reduction after 10 years. That is on top of the already low interest rates that the NHT gives. I know that for many of you here, you live on land for which you have no security. Land passed down through your family, but you have no title. The PNP come and they promise how they go and give everybody land. Let me explain something to you. And I don't take back no chat. Squatting, informal communities, irregular settlement is created by the PNP. The PNP introduced chacka-ism into this country. The PNP introduced disorderly spatial development into this country. I want you to understand me. I went to a community called Naysbury Grove in Minister Tufton's constituency. Listen to me good. I want all Labourites to listen to me good. Naysbury Grove had its start under Operation Pride. Now, I want every Jamaican to own a piece of Jamaica. I want every Jamaican to have title for the land that they have. So and this is what pained my heart, you know. The objective of Operation Pride is something that I agree with. The country needed an Operation Pride. But the truth is, you can't leave these kinds of projects up to the PNP. They can't manage it. You will have policy drift under them. But as you know, Operation Pride was the most corrupt public enterprise in Jamaica. I stand here 30 years after Operation Pride as Minister of Housing, and I can tell you that under my watch, there has been no informal settlement created, sponsored or tacitly supported by the government, no chacka development sponsored or created by the government. Jamaica has turned the corner on chacka development because this administration does not stand for chacka development.